On Tuesday at 4 p.m. Korea time, the South Korean military fired about 90 machine gun rounds across the border at an airborne, unidentified object that North Korea had sent apparently into South Korean airspace. South Korea has not yet said if these rounds were responsible for bringing this object down, but the object did vanish from radar just after they were fired. South Korea's Joint Chiefs of Staff are currently investigating this situation to see, first of all, whether or not the object did come into South Korean airspace, and also whether or not it was a drone. And experts at this point believe that it most likely was a drone. This comes, interestingly, just one day after a high-level North Korean defector, a man who fled North Korea last year, told South Korean officials that the North Korean military is now in possession of between 300 and 400 drones that are capable of delivering both biological and chemical weapons to the South Korean capital of Seoul within just 1 hour's time. So the resolute response by the South Korean military could have been largely due to that new information, although anytime there would be a provocation of this kind from the North, it would be dealt with very seriously. This also comes amid a time of rapidly rising international concern over North Korea's illegal missile and nuclear weapons programs. The regime of Kim Jong-un there in the north has been testing missiles, especially with increasing frequency. And just a couple of weeks ago, as a result of those tests and as a result of the rapidly rising concerns, the US President Donald Trump said that he believes, quote, major conflict could be now a possibility to try to neutralize this North Korean threat. So major conflict were his words. The United States, of course, is South Korea's main ally. America has some 28,000 troops stationed there. So to see fire exchanged at the border really triggered a lot of panic beyond the Korean Peninsula, all the way into the United States. And this also all coincides with a report by International Security magazine that was published earlier this week, saying that low fatality nuclear strikes on North Korea are now possible. This is apparently due to changes, advancements in the accuracy of targeting, and this report says that pretty much all of North Korea's major weapon systems, or sites rather, could now be hit and taken out with as few as 20 B-61 low-yield nuclear bombs. And they believe that that could be done with as few as 100 total casualties. So if the policymakers in America believe that the risks of destroying nuclear sites there in North Korea with low-yield nuclear weapons is now far lower than it used to be in the past, then a policy like that very well could be pursued. So that's just a hair-raising possibility, especially because we've had a policy of no first use for so many decades now regarding nuclear weapons, and also because with involvement of that kind, you really can't predict how or when it would end and who might get involved. One final detail that I would bring in is just that the day after this fire was exchanged at the border there, President Trump told Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte that America now has 2 nuclear submarines in the waters just off of the Korean Peninsula. So when you put that in the context of these other developments, the fact that that's now public knowledge and that the North Koreans know that and likely feel cornered by it, it just greatly heightens those tensions in Asia, and it forces us to think that the unthinkable, possibly using nuclear weapons, is possibly thinkable.